Hello and welcome to Adventures with Alchemy. My name is Skipper Cristian, I am your host, and today we are going to talk about infusions. Infusions are basically flavoring liquids, okay? And in my case, as a bartender, flavoring alcohol. I know you've seen flavored alcohol like, cherry, Grey Goose, or whatever, 3 Olives, grape, or whatever. Guys, you can do this at home with your own fresh fruit, and it's so much better. And I'm gonna show you 5 different ways to do it, okay? So bear with me. I'm gonna take you through this one device at a time. Some of these you may have seen before on this very show. Yeah, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do some fun infusions, and we're gonna learn some new tricks, hopefully, all right? So before we begin, we're gonna meet some plots real quick, as always. I basically chopped up a bunch of apples, some Fuji and some green ones, some peaches, and I have some cinnamon sticks here. What we're going to do is we're going to take some high proof alcohol and we're going to put them in each one of these, and we're going to infuse them over a period of time. Some of these infuse much faster than others. So let's get started. The classic way of infusing, the easiest way of infusing, is the classic steeping method, which is using an infusion jar, a mason jar, or even a pot with hot water, and you steep. That's for regular liquids. For alcohol, you want to just put your ingredients in here, whether it be fresh herbs, spices, fresh fruit, whatever it is you want to infuse and give flavor to, that's what you put in here. Fat washing is another form of infusion, where you put some fat in there and you freeze it and you let it solidify, and then you strain it all out, giving it the essence and flavor of the fat that you used. It's fascinating. There's all kinds of great things you can do. Now, simple rule to always remember: the higher the proof, the better the infusion. The more alcohol, or higher percentage of alcohol, the more it's going to suck those flavors out. So the highest proof you can find is what you want to use for this, and try to make sure that it's neutral flavored. You don't want something that is like a 151 dark rum or something. I don't know, just use a regular, maybe get some a bottle of Everclear and use that. So the infusion jar, or the mason jar, the classic way. So what you do is you just open up your mason jar, take some apples, and get a nice combination of green and red. The red provides the sweet and the green provides some tart. Cinnamon stick. Now, you could also roast the cinnamon stick with a little torch, and you'll give it that nice little kind of burnt flavor, just slightly. It's real nice. So right here I have high proof alcohol, drinking alcohol, of course, consumable, and I'm just going to pour it over our ingredients here and then seal it with a mason jar. There you go. Go ahead and cover that up. And I recommend putting this somewhere that is not too cold and not too hot. Maybe if you have a nice cooler and set it outside overnight, perfect. You can let this infuse for, I would say, a good week, and you will have a proper infusion. I would not mess with this for at least 3 to 4 days. So that is the basic, slow, easy infusion method, okay? I don't know if it's officially called the steeping method, but that's what I call it, the steeping method. So, the next one. This one is called the pressure method, also known as the rapid infusion method. This is a whipping canister. I have done episodes in the past showing this off. I love it. I believe highly in it. I use it a lot, especially for infusions. Of course, it can be used for other things, and if you'd like to know more about that, check out our video about whipping siphon techniques. A lot of fun. So, you get your whipping siphon, and the idea of this is that you fill it with your ingredients, you fill it with your alcohol or liquid of whatever sort, and when you add the gas, the pressure literally pushes the alcohol into the pores of said ingredients, and you leave it in for a little while, and when you release, it all comes back out. So The pressure literally is what's giving, well, the ingredients was giving the flavor, but the pressure is what's giving it flavor faster, along with the higher proof alcohol. So for this bad boy, we're gonna use the peaches. So we have filled that up. Let's get our alcohol. As you can see, we have a jar of our lovely high proof alcohol here. Now guys, don't be an idiot like me. Use a funnel, okay? You're gonna make a mess. If not, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. Nitrogen, by the way. If you use CO2, you're going to carbonate the fruit, which is delicious, but not what we're looking to do. Make sure it's tight. Listen for that great sound, and just set it aside. And there you go. That will actually only take a couple hours. You could even pop it out in a couple minutes and you'll have an infusion. It won't be a very strong infusion, but it will be an infusion nonetheless. That's why they call it a rapid infusion. But it's more of a 3 hours instead of 5 days type of rapid infusion, not an instant. So I think that's where a lot of people get a little confused and mixed up. So anyway, there you go. Next is one of my personal favorites. This is a hot siphon, also known as a coffee siphon. These are normally used for coffee, but they can be used for things like tea and infusing alcohol. So once again, I have some high proof alcohol here. Gin and vodkas are also really fun for this. You can put your fresh herbs in here and, well, you'll see. We're gonna heat it from the bottom here, and as the liquid heats up, it starts to rise, and it's to this tube right here because it has nowhere else to go. It collects up here along with all the goodies, infuses, and then when it's done, it literally just fires back into the bottom chamber. A lot of fun. Let me show you. So, apples, cinnamon stick, more apples. That's good. And now we're going to cover it. From here, you light your fire. Okay, so as you can see, as it's getting hotter, the liquid is starting to rise in here. It's coming up into the top chamber where it's now hotter and infusing with the apples. Now, I heat it up slowly because, well, if you go too fast, it could actually heat up too fast and could even overflow. And if you're using high proof alcohol, that could catch fire. So you want to do this very slow, and you don't want to use a ton of liquid either. So a little less than half is the safer way to go with the bulb. The bulb is what I call the bottom chamber. Okay, so as you can see, it's being pushed up. The liquid here is getting lower and lower. Up here it's getting higher and higher. You're seeing that it's bubbling up. And you'll see it's going to tell us real soon when it's done. Aha, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now at this point, you can either turn it off or you can let it go again. Now, I personally am going to let it go again because I'm going to use this later and I want it nicely infused. So I'm actually going to run this through a couple more times. But for now, as you can see, the color has changed. It's more of a yellow golden color. It's nice. You can see that it's been infused with some goodies. Right now it would be more like a light infusion, but a couple more times through this, the darker the color. Let's just set this bad boy aside. Set him aside here, and we'll move on to the next one. So what we have here is a sous vide. Sous vides are a kitchen's best friend, and they are a bartender's best friend. For those of you that don't know what a sous vide is cooking something at a constant temperature under circulating water, okay? You take your protein or whatever you're cooking and you put it into a bag, usually a vacuum sealed bag, and you place it in the water, and whatever temperature you want, it will be perfect. It will get it to that temperature with the circulating water, and it will cook it to a perfect temperature every single time. This is a great way if you're cooking a lot of food for a lot of people and you want to be consistent. Sous vides are amazing. They're also fantastic for infusions. You take a plastic bag and you put your alcohol in it or your liquid, and you add your spices and your herbs and whatnot. Once again, put it in your circulating water, and you can just let it go. Let it go for a good 12 hours. And you will have a wonderful infusion. Let me show you. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this is set your temp. For this particular project, we're going to get it to about 180. Go ahead and start that up. And yeah, you'll see the water starts to circulate and it just gets hotter. And but it never goes over or under the temp that you set it to. The only time it will stop is if the water level gets too low. So you have to be keeping an eye on the water. Get your plastic bag. For this, we won't be vacuum sealing it, because when you have liquid in a bag and you vacuum seal, you're probably going to lose a lot of liquid. So for this project, you just put your ingredients in a Ziploc. In this case, we're going to do peaches. Get your alcohol. Pour it into the bag. Try to push out as much air as you can without losing any booze. There we go. Next, you open the lid. Put your goodies in the water, but leave the top part on the outside and put the lid over the top so that it doesn't go in, okay? Now you can just leave it. Leave it for 12 hours if you want, or more. Now, you can combine these methods. You could do a little bit of this and then take that liquid and put it in here. There's a lot of things you can do. The final way I'm going to show you is, the device is too big for me to show you here on camera. I don't actually have one. They're very expensive and I can't afford one right now, but maybe in the future. It is another style of making coffee, but works fantastic for many other things. It is a, 4 foot tall to 6 foot tall device that has it has a glass bulb on the top, which slowly drips down liquid through a centerpiece that has whatever ingredients you want infused, which then percolates down to the bottom and drips into a container. And basically you get a wonderful infusion that takes a long time, but it's also a beautiful set piece. So people can walk and they see it. It's like, wow, it's very eye appealing. They're very cool. And yes, very expensive. Hopefully we can get one in the future and do a show on it. Okay. So we're going to leave all these things infusing. I'm going to take 12 hours to let all these things do what they do. And we're going to come back and take a look at everything, see how they look, the colors, the smells, and everything. See you in a little bit. Welcome back. So it's been 12 hours. As you can see, I've changed my clothes a little bit. I don't want to wear the same clothes all day, 2 days in a row. So we've had all these things infusing now for 12 straight hours. We have different types of infusions here. And so what we're going to do now is strain everything out into separate jars, and we're going to take a look at the differences. Again, I don't have the slow drip, so there's no way to take a look at that one. So we're just going to have to compare these four. Forgive me. And one day I will get one of those slow drips and we'll have an awesome video about that. So let's begin with the hot siphon, okay? We don't need the burner anymore. So we'll just take this. We're gonna remove the top layer, the top part. That's our filter and our fruit. And next, take your vessel. In this case, a half mason jar. you want to get yourself a strainer, place it over the top. So put it over the top. Look at that color, just golden apple orange type of color. It's gorgeous. Oh, it smells lovely. It smells lovely. Get all of it in there. Oh yeah. Let's just seal this up so we don't confuse it with any other ones. Okay. The next one is our mason jar. Once again, go ahead and get your half mason out. We're going to fill up 2 of these. These are peaches. Use a separate strainer for separate flavors. Now you will see that some of the alcohol did get lost if you were heating it up. But when you don't heat it up, you don't lose as much. Some of it absorbs into the fruit and you can eat the fruit and get yourself a nice little treat there. Nice little boozy treat. Now, we're not going to discard this fruit. We're actually going to use it again. You could actually use that in your cooking too. You could put brown sugar and butter and cook that into a pie and you have a nice special, I would do something with like maybe whiskey or a cognac or something because it'll just give it a real special flavor. Next, we're going to do our siphon whip. Or whipping cream canister or whatever you want to call it. First thing to do is going to take off the gas valve, remove the empty tank, discard the tank. Now right here we have our little spigot. We're just going to put that right there and gently press the trigger to release the gas. This will catch any foam or anything that might come out. Beautiful. Now that all the gas is gone, go ahead and unscrew. Oh man, this is also peach. Look at that. Look at the color. That color is way different. And we're going to discuss that here in a minute. Okay, so finally, for our last infusion, we are going to strain out our Sous Vide. So we let the bag cool. We let the liquid inside cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold it over. With this bad boy right here, we're going to cut a little hole in it and strain it out. Try not to make a mess. There we go. Look at that color. So you can see with the different levels of infusion, with the different styles and techniques of infusion, you can see that the end result is different. You know, you can see the colors are different, the level of flavor is going to be different as well. And I'm going to save that stuff for later. And yeah, let's check them all out. So we have our Sous Vide. We have our pressure infused. We have our mason jar infused, and we have our hot siphon infused. As you can see, different results with each one. Different results with each one. They all taste great. They all have different levels of flavor, and well, they're fantastic for gifts for anyone. Say you want to do a nice gift for somebody, make them a nice infusion, you know, and make them a nice tincture. If you want to see future episodes with more infusions, just let us know. Or if you want to learn how to make tinctures or bitters, let us know. We'll be more than happy. Just leave a comment in the comment section and we'll get to work on that. But yeah, this stuff is fascinating. If you ever have a chance, make some homemade infusions. It's a lot of fun. Guys, if you like this video and you like what we do, please hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Tell your friends about this channel. We love to hear from you guys, and we like to make our videos according to the things that you're asking for. So please drop a comment. Any advice you have, we're happy to hear it, as long as it's helpful and, you know, be nice. But yeah, other than that, love you guys. Thank you for all the support. We appreciate all of you, and on to the next one. Cheers.